Welcome to Personal Mastery Training. I'm your host, Alvin Brown, former world-class athlete turned entrepreneur and consultant. Join us as we learn from guests who have conquered their inner battles and share their journeys to success. Get ready for inspirational masterclasses and thought-provoking strategy sessions to fuel your path to personal mastery. Let's dive in. All right, so this is a strategy episode. Let's call this one Mastery Made Possible. Embracing the art of consistency. I'm going to tell you my next book coming out, The 4 Pillars of Mastery. One of the pillars is consistency. I can't tell you any more superpower for mastery than this last piece, consistency. My other pillars are great too, but I got to tell you, this one here, it levels the playing field for a lot of us. You see, many years ago, when I was very young, think about it for a second. I'm going to take you back. Here I was growing up in a household where pretty much we moved around a lot in Jamaica, and I had no real guidance. My mom was so busy working to put food on the table for all of us that she did the best she could at what she had. Took me around with her. I was dragging along with everybody in the family because I was the youngest. So there wasn't any real roots, any real consistency, any real certainty. We're constantly on the move. And then we moved to Canada in 1977 by myself. Again, no guidance because my mom was, again, busy out putting food on the table. Imagine, attempting to bring up the other 4 kids from Jamaica, and it was 2 years later when that happened. And so you can imagine now, I didn't have that guidance. So later on in my life, when I hit high school, actually, I started to think, man, I need goals. I need something I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel right. There was something missing. And I wanted to fill the gap. So my brothers and my sisters were very tough to me. They were very tough. They would fight at the drop of a dime. It would be no issue for them to, and I didn't like it. So I thought, at one point I thought to myself, man, this is a weakness for me. I thought, I'm going to become the baddest man on the planet and find a way. How would I find a way, though? I'd had no money. Again, no one to drive me to activities and all this kind of thing. So what's the only way? So when I started high school, I got into wrestling, high school wrestling, because I was impressed by some of the guys I saw. And guess what? I only needed a singlet, one uniform. I could wear my running shoes. I didn't even need much. And I got the singlet from the school. They had some old ones there, and I used those. So all I needed was a singlet, and I was ready to go. So I started getting into sports. And sports gave me the confidence, gave me structure. It gives me direction, setting goals, teamwork, hard work, work ethic. It created everything for me. Without sports, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be having what I have and doing what I'm doing. It guided me. So I started to get into sports. And then from there, I led to boxing, martial arts, dance, so on and so on and so on. So I owe all those activities to my life right now. So consistency, and I wanted to know, how do I level the playing field? Now that I'm in these sports and I want to be great at them, how do I do it? What's the secret? Am I gifted? Do you have to be gifted to always go to the top? Not really. You've seen it before. Tom Brady, the quarterback for the Bucks and many years for the Patriots, he would tell you he's not that gifted compared to other of his peers. But he had that work ethic, that consistent work ethic. So I started I couldn't articulate it back then like I can now. I couldn't articulate that consistency was the key, but I just knew showing up. I just know that whatever you want to get good at, whatever you want to master, all you got to do is show up every single time. And eventually, you're going to go through the 4 stages of learning. I did a podcast on that, right? You're going to start with you're unconscious and you're incompetent. You had no idea. That was me. Then I go to conscious. Oh, wow, I want to be good at something. Now, but I'm incompetent. So I start practicing. And then I become conscious competence. So now, if I think about it and put my energy into it, I can be good at it. But I wanted to move to flow, which is the top level of learning, the 4 stages. It's where you go unconscious and you're competent. You're in the flow state. There's only one way to get there, though. Putting in the time. You know, you've heard it before, 10,000 hours, whatever the number is. We can argue about the number. It doesn't matter. It's just putting in the time into your passion. So in today's world, though, the problem is far too many people are in love with instant gratification. They're in love with seeing the results. What they see on especially today with social media, we're literally seeing the commercials of people's lives and thinking it's real. We're not seeing the whole movie. We all know that, right? We all know, I call it fake book, because we see the best things people put up. Here I am with my partner. Here I am on vacation. But are you truly living in the moment? Are you truly living a rich life? And I don't mean money rich in every way. Because just to post something takes a lot of energy and a lot of time away from wherever you are, be there. So we tend to not like to be bored. I always go back to Usain Bolt, 9.5, somewhere around there you ran, literally under 10 seconds. But it took him 20 years to get to that 10 seconds. See, so we have to fall in love with the suck. We have to fall in love with it. We have to be consistent. And I know something. Right now I'm practicing Spanish. And I've got the Duolingo. I'm going to give them a plug there. But I've got the app. And every day I'm up to day 660, somewhere like that, consistently. Despite everything going on in my life, there are distractions, but I get on. I just love being consistent. And I'm going to tell you why in a second, why I love it. This is my favorite conversation. Consistency. I discovered that when I'm consistent, I'm separating myself from everybody else. So here, let me get into it. Here's some reasons why I fell in love with consistency. At some point in my life, again, I can't articulate when, but now in retrospection, I can say this is the key. I realize that being consistent is the doorway to personal mastery and greatness, to your personal greatness, whatever it is you decide to do. Sports, life, business, that doesn't matter to me. Let's not get caught up in the weeds here. This is a doorway. I realize that when I'm consistent, it builds everything else. I also know that many won't be that way. Many people won't be that way in a marriage, in a relationship. Marriage is a marathon. Everything is a marathon, actually. You're lucky. And if you get it quick, lucky, I'm wishing you luck to keep it. So it's almost like it's in our DNA to love. Well, the thing is, we like pleasure and pain. It's a pleasure-pain thing. We move towards pleasure and move away from pain. Waiting for what you want somewhere in the distance. I'll go back to a smoker, someone who smokes. They know that if I stop in 5 years, my lung apparently will be repaired. I mean, there's going to be still some damage, but I'm going to be that much. I'm going to add years to my life if I stop doing some habit. However, in the immediate moment, I'm in pain right now. So I want to solve this pain today. I don't want to wait for 5 years to feel good today. Meanwhile, it took that long to get you out of shape and out of health. But I don't want to do that. So consistency. I know it's not in our DNA. Pleasure, pain. So here's the thing. I also know once I get to the top of whatever remember, this is your ladder, not anyone else's. When I look back, I know I'm shutting the door on a ton of people. A ton of people will never get there because they lack consistency. It will take somebody who is just as disciplined as I am to open that door and walk in. It's free to anybody to walk in, but it's going to take you that much effort, energy, discipline to walk in. Not many want to. So it's a lonely place at the pinnacle, but for me, it works for me. I like achieving. I like the grind. I'm in love with it. This is why you'll see these podcasts come out. And if you know my history, go look at my history. I don't have to talk about it. Look at my history. Been working in my business for 30 years, never miss a day. Been in relationships for a long time. You name it. Whatever it is. Those who know me close know what I'm talking about. I don't have to talk about it too much. So, here's the other thing too. I also realize that if I want something somebody has, I have to decide if I want to be consistent at this. Because I can't have what they have if I'm not willing to be consistently focused on doing what they do. So for me, it reduces this idea of FOMO or wanting envy, because I won't do what they're doing consistently. So why do I deserve it? And I'm okay with that. Because I also know the flip side is no one will do what you're doing to get what you have. So don't worry about somebody coming to get something. Books are written. I remember this one friend of mine said, well, he's an associate. He said, oh, if it was so great, why did they put it? Why are they giving it away for free in a book or whatever, or seminar? And I'm like, yeah, well, everything we want to know is written in a book, but not everybody's going to actually do it, apply it. So don't worry about scarcity. And then finally, the other thing that I love about it, it leads to respect of the game, your game, whatever game that is. Meaning that when you see somebody at the top in the arena, you will shut up and have respect for them because you realize they were consistent and I have to do what they do to get there. So then you don't get those people who are on keyboards hating and being and ridiculing and judging and being critics of somebody else because they don't have that respect for their game, what it took for the person to get there. So this is why I love consistency, because it is easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. So I'm going to give you one caveat though about this whole thing. First thing you have to do is make sure your ladder is against the right wall, because you don't want to consistently be doing something that you don't love. You don't want to apply consistency to something that's not right for you. So I would give you that little tip: is not make sure your ladder of success, your ladder of crawl, your ladder of climb is against the right wall. Because mastery and consistency are linked, intimately linked. Once you can develop this idea of mastery, of consistency, you're shutting the door to so many others behind you. All right. So here's what we're going to do. Strategy for you. 1, ensure that the quest to achieve mastery is in your chosen path and it's truly worth it. That's your first step. As I said, make sure whatever you're being consistent in, it's going to take work. It's going to take a marathon. Be sure you love it. It's not for money. Be sure it's a passion as well. Because once you love what you do, money will follow. I'm absolutely. And if it doesn't, you'll be happy anyways. Number 2, what are the basics and fundamentals of your craft? You don't need fancy things. You need to be great at the basics, the fundamentals. That's what you get consistent at. Because then the fancy stuff happens on top of it. Too many people are trying to get fancy. They haven't got down the perfect lift, the perfect execution. Do more of the fundamentals. Number 3, be prepared for a marathon in your mind. Forget the sprint. In your mind, once you say, I'm going to do this, I want to be an actor, I want to be an artist, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to make this money. Prepare for a marathon. Forget the sprint. If a sprint happens and you get there, good for you. But prepare for a marathon. The relationship, anything. Number 4, embrace the suck and just do it. Stop complaining. Stop complaining about it. It's not It's not your right. Life owes you nothing. I just talked about this in my other podcast. Life owes you nothing. Neither does the game. Embrace the suck. Number 5, love what you do and only do what you love. If there's any part of it that you hate, that you're dragging your ass through, get rid of it. Make sure you love what you do. Make sure you love who you're with. Make sure you don't sacrifice anything. Love it. I couldn't be at this for 30 years and putting out these podcasts if I didn't love what I do. And just so happens I have people around me, my partner, who embraces and see, when you embrace and love what you do, you'll find support. And you won't actually need it, but you'll find support. Number 6, final one. Realize that the road will be lonely. You won't have a lot of friends. You won't have a lot of support maybe along the way, but you'll have great people. They're only the 5, the 4, the 3, but they'll be awesome. Just keep going back to your vision, your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you love it? Because it's don't expect huge following and everybody to approve. So this episode, I'm really passionate about it because consistency is everything to me, man. I can level the playing field by being the last one out. First one in, last one out. I'll die on the treadmill, as Will Smith has his video out there. I'll be on that treadmill every single time. You'll have to take me off. That's why I love consistency. And I want to shut the door behind me and realize you got to catch me. You got to do what I do to open that door. It's free, no lock, no key, but you just got to do the work, put the discipline in. Discipline leads to freedom. All right, so that's it for this episode. I hope you love it. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some value. I'm sure. Remember, one idea. You don't need 10 ideas. You need one idea. Execute on it for 2024 coming up. And it'll change your life forever. Now, I got to also plug here that I have a new program that I want to do. Only limited. I'm limiting this program to only a few. It's called Elevate the Game in 2024. How to, basically, it's you versus you. I want to push you. I want to encourage you. I want to support you to finally put the stamp on that goal that you've always had. The one you kept saying tomorrow. I want to do that. But I'm only going to take a small few because I just realized something, and I'm really passionate about this, that I'm not for everybody. My work ethic and everything I just talked about, my consistency, I realize that I just can't push my materials out there to just everybody. You have to be able to be brave, courageous, and consistent to go the journey. And I love that because you give me energy. So if you're not ready, if you're uncertain that you can put the time in and the grind in, then we're good. Just keep listening to the podcast. I love that. Share that. But otherwise, I'm starting this program. Check out the website and social media. I'm gonna be pushing it get some signups. There's first a compatibility call though, because I want to make sure you're right for me, and you want to make sure I'm right for you. That way we can get that out of the way sooner than later. All right, everybody. Love that. Love this. Appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, share. Let's build this community. All right. Until next time. And by the way, I got a fire episode coming out soon. It's a masterclass that some of the information she shared on there. It's gonna game changer for you. All right. Peace. Until next time.